On today's video, I am going to be showing you guys how to transform your makeup game. Today, I'm going to be showing you guys how the right way to do your eyeshadow. Okay, so I'm not really going to go into details because there are plenty of eyeshadows to learn. I'm going to give you guys the basic and also tell you guys the basic things to know on how to do your eyeshadow. So today's video is going to be makeup transforming. So I did the makeup already. If you haven't seen the video how I achieved this look, I'm going to be leaving the link on the description box, so do check it out. But after you finish watching this video, okay, my eyes are bare. The reason there is just powder that I applied. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is to prime our eyes. Now I'm using my by 9 clown white, and this is in the color 1. Now if you do not have a primer like this, you can also use your concealer to prime. You can even still use your foundation to prime, but I advise you use a eyeshadow primer. If you don't have one, then please use your concealer. Okay, so ideally if I'm doing this on a client, I'm not going to use my fingers, but I'm doing this on myself, so I'm just going to be priming my eyes using my index finger. If you're using a primer, do not overdo it. Left eye is the don't and the right eye is the do. Okay, just in case I did not mention. So we're going to be priming this eye, but we're not going to be priming the left side. Now if there are excess products on your finger, you could just go on to clean that. Okay, use a tissue paper. Don't use something wet like your face wipe. Use something that is dry. So we're just going to blend this. Why we prime our eyes is to allow our eyeshadow to actually sit properly on our eyelid, and not just that, to also allow the eyeshadow to be more visible, because sometimes the eyeshadow that we'll buy is not so pigmented and we're going to use it and it's going to be looking as if you did not do anything in your eyes. So please prime your eyes so that when you use your shadow, you're going to notice that you actually use an eyeshadow. So don't priming these eyes. Next thing I'm going to be doing is to set. I'm going to be using my setting powder. You can also use your white powder. You can use your brown powder if you have. I use this powder because it's almost the same shade as my eyeshadow primer. Just use something that's almost the same shade with the primer that you are using. If you're using your concealer, I'll advise you just use your brown powder. So I'm just going to set this.
Now with everything I've been doing on the right side, you've noticed I've not done anything on the left side, and that is why it's good to prime, not just to make your eyeshadow more visible, but also to avoid creasings on your eyes.
For my eyeshadow, I'm going to be using this one by Swear by It. So going to the don't, first thing you want to do is that on your crease area, I would advise you to go with something that is shimmery like this. Okay, another thing you should know is that when you are doing your crease or when you're rubbing an eyeshadow on your crease area, do not go for colors that, I don't know, for colors that are a bit off. Now like I said, you're doing a basic eyeshadow, there are eyeshadows you want to use and you can do something like blue, something like green, and so on and so forth, but we are doing something really basic on this video. Okay, so please do something a bit light, especially when you're just starting. You don't need anything too much, you're still learning, so please just start small. Then with time you can just start practicing, but don't practice on your face when you're going out, just in case you make mistakes. Okay, another mistake you want to avoid is that when you want to start with the eyeshadow on your crease area, do not go for a brush that is this fluffy and this big. Okay, since you want to get your crease line, I'll advise you to get something small. Start with a brush that's actually small. Something like this would do. We're just going to go in with this dark black shade on that area. Another reason I say you should start with something small is that while using something this big, you might not be able to get the exact or the precise part of your eyes you want to get, especially when you are just starting. So please start with something small. Okay, so this is just what this is going to do to your eyes. Don't start with a brush that is too big that won't actually get a precise eye, and do not start with a very dark shade. Okay, now for these eyes, I'll be starting with this brown shade over here, and I'll be using this precise fluffy brush. Now another thing you should know is that after you tap your eyeshadow, just try to hit it somewhere so the excess product is going to fall out, because that is not needed. On your eyeshadow, you want to actually get something beautiful, and too much is actually not it, guys. For makeup, it's not always too much, does not matter. Okay, what you need is a good makeup. Little does it. And there are sometimes you have to go in with the eyeshadow and go in with it and go with it just to get what you want. Okay, just the way I'm doing. I've actually gone through with this eyeshadow like 3 times now. Okay, but just like I said, use your hands to get what you want. You all can see that this face is actually looking really pretty compared to this side. Now the next thing I'm going to do for our do eyes is I'm going to go to another shade that is darker than the first shade I used, and I'm going to go in with this shade. That is going to be our next shade. Now you notice I'm using another fluffy brush. This is a size bigger than the first brush we used. Okay, also when you get used to your makeup, when you get used to all of these things, you are actually going to use the brush that is this big to achieve almost everything you want. I actually do it when I'm doing my makeup, but because you're still learning, guys, please just try to go for something that is not so big and something that you can work with. Okay, now the next thing I'm going to do, most of the times when you have made your eyeshadow with a matte shade, I would advise to go for something shimmery for your lid, okay, for like the other parts that is left there. Now this is not always necessary. There are sometimes you don't really want anything shimmery, you just really want a very cool eyeshadow. That is okay. You can just go for something nude, something light on the bare part of your lids, okay, of your eye, for your eyeshadow. Okay, so for this makeup I'm going to be going in with a shimmery eyeshadow, and I think I'm going to be using this shade over here. Another thing I want you guys to know is that if you look at the brush I'm using for this, it is a flat brush. So loves, for your don'ts, please do not use a fluffy brush to put in eyeshadow on this side of your eyelid, okay, like this one I just did right now. Do not use your fluffy brush to put your eyeshadow on this part of your eyelid. Now let me just give you some example using the same eyeshadow I actually use, just so that you guys will see that it's not going to make sense. So I'm just going to pack this here. Now when you did this, you will notice that it is not giving you a precise eyeshadow. You really do not know how to shape in your hand, how to just make everything sit properly. So I would advise you not to use a fluffy brush like this on this part of your eyeshadow. Okay, lastly I'm going to also go back to this dark shade to blend everything. Now you notice I'm actually using a light hand on this part. Okay, I'm actually not trying to do so much, I'm just using a light hand. Now for your don'ts, after you finish applying everything you want to just pack on your eyes, leave it like that and you start running to wherever it is you're running to. My loves, when you are done with your eyeshadow, take a powder from your powder set, or your powder if that is what you are using. If it's just one set, take your powder from there and just try to blend your brow bone. Okay, so that everything is going to look blended. Now it's optional. If you want, you add in your highlighter on your brow bone. If not, you don't. Okay, so I'm going to be using this really small precise brush to add in my highlighter. Now you notice the color. I don't know if you actually noticed, but I'm going to show you guys right now. This is the color I used for myself. You notice that this color is almost my shade. Don't be a dark skinned person and go and use something like this. This is too light. Or be a dark skinned person and go and use something like this. Okay, it is too light, so we're just going to use that on our don't face and then we'll see how it is. Okay, let me not make this thing too serious. Let me try and blend this black. Let's see if anything will change. Nothing changed. The next thing we're going to do is, if you're trying to add a bit of eyeshadow on your under eye, please, I'll advise you to use something just the way I explained earlier. Go for something a bit light before going for something that is dark. Okay, we're just going to use this two shade right now. I'm going to show you guys what I mean. We're going in with the light one first, and this is also a precise brush. If you have something smaller, please go with it. So we're just going to try and smack this under our eyes. I'm not trying to bring this downwards or anything. I'm actually just following the lead of my eyes. Next, what we're going to do is go for the darker shade. Now, what you do not want to do is going for something that is this dark and just going in directly under your eyes. Now, you can go for something like this, yes, but please, my love, go for something that is a bit lighter than the shade you want to go for before you go for something that's dark. And you also will just start smacking the thing as if you and the eyeshadow is fighting, and just start bringing it down and bringing it down. That is not how it's supposed to be, my love. I think this will be very good in like a very scary movie. What do you think? If you don't wake up like this will work. But please, my love, not just start making everything seem as if you're trying to fight with the eyeshadow. So my loves, I hope this was helpful. I hope I was able to just give you the few things you need to know on your eyeshadow do's and don'ts. If there's any other question, please let me know in the comment section down below. Thank you, and I'm happy to see you here. Until my next video, stay happy, stay blessed, and stay safe.